Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chesterton's Jest, where we keep a critical eye on faith and culture, especially within the Catholic Church today. In an age where even church teachings seem to be shifting, we're here to explore and question the ideas and changes that challenge timeless truths. Through thought-provoking, often humorous perspectives, we aim to bring clarity to conversations others might avoid, holding fast to orthodoxy with the courage to question what feels off track. If you would like to join us as we dig deeper into the faith with reverence, wit, and a touch of Chestertonian insight, you can support this channel by gently pressing the like, share, and subscribe buttons in that order, and we thank you for your support. And now, without further ado, Truth in a World Gone Mad, a Chestertonian defense of objective morality. Chapter 1. The Absurdities of Relativism. There is something decidedly curious about our modern world. We have become so broad-minded that we flatter ourselves for refusing to believe in anything definite. In an era that prides itself on tolerance and open-mindedness, the only heresy is to declare that some things are truly right and others truly wrong. It seems we have established one absolute dogma, that there are no absolute truths. This paradox sits at the heart of moral relativism, and it is precisely the sort of intellectual absurdity that the ever-witty G.K. Chesterton would pounce upon with a smile and a sharpened pen. Chesterton had a gift for exposing the logical knots that relativists tie themselves into. Consider a few paradoxes that illustrate the absurd outcomes of moral relativism. The first is known as the self-defeating truth. If someone insists there is no objective truth, he has made a truth claim that he expects us to accept universally. The statement undermines itself. It is an absolute claim, denying absolutes. As Chesterton might point out, skepticism of everything poisons itself, for a person cannot even denounce wrongs without sneaking in some standard of right and wrong by which to do the denouncing. The second paradoxical archetype is the rebel without a cause. The modern rebel prides himself on challenging every norm and value, but in rejecting all moral frameworks, he ends up voiding the basis for any critique. Chesterton famously observed this type. The modern man in revolt has become practically useless for all purposes of revolt. By rebelling against everything, he has lost his right to rebel against anything. And then there is the open-minded abyss. We are told that an enlightened mind must remain perpetually open. Yet an open mind, like an open mouth, is meant to close again on something solid. Chesterton wryly noted that he opened his intellect just as he opened his jaws, in order to shut it again on something solid. Likewise, a mind that never lands on a solid truth ends up swallowing nonsense. Each of these paradoxes reveals a comic yet tragic truth. Moral relativism defeats itself. It pretends to champion freedom and tolerance, but it actually eats away at the very concepts of meaning, justice, and morality. In doubting everything, the relativist ultimately cannot defend anything. Chapter 2. Modern Relativism. New Fashions, Old Fallacies. Chesterton's insights, though penned in the early 20th century, apply uncannily well to today's cultural confusions. Our era's moral trends often dress up ancient fallacies in fashionable new language. But as Chesterton reminds us, fallacies do not cease to be fallacies because they become fashions. Consider how relativism pervades media, politics, and philosophy in our times. We see it in the media and the "my truth" narrative. We frequently hear the phrase "my truth" in talk shows and social media, as if truth were a personal possession like a handbag. News outlets sometimes blur facts and opinions, creating a haze where objective reporting gives way to subjective narratives. Reality, however, does not bend to opinion. We see it in the spin of our politics. In politics, each faction acts as if their version of right is merely a construct, until, of course, the other side does something they deem unquestionably wrong. Leaders and pundits speak of alternative facts with a straight face, turning public debate into a cynical game where winning matters more than truth. We see it in philosophy and academia. In universities, moral relativism often wears the dignified cloak of postmodern theory. We are told that truth is a social construct, yet the same institutions enforce codes of conduct with moral fervor, as if some actions are truly wrong, regardless of personal perspective. In all these arenas, the modern world's relativist pose is a thin veneer. Scratch it, and beneath we find an uneasy conscience still longing for real right and wrong. Chapter 3. The Return to Objective Truth. Against the tide of trendy subjectivism, Chesterton stands in hearty defense of objective truth. He does so not as a stern scold, but as a jovial knight eager to pop the balloons of pretentious nonsense. His argument, and ours, is that real truth and morality exist independent of individual whims, and that this is good news for mankind. Truth provides coherence. Honest debate becomes impossible if we do not believe that there is an actual truth to discover. Two engineers debating a bridge design will eventually agree on what actually works, because the truth of physics is an objective referee. Likewise, moral debates implicitly appeal to a standard beyond personal taste. Truth is the basis of progress. The word progress means nothing if we have no agreed-upon direction for the good. Nobody has any business to use the word progress unless he has a definite creed and a cast-iron code of morals, Chesterton observed. Truth protects human dignity. A world without any fixed moral landmarks is a world where the loudest voices or the strongest fists decide what is true. This is not freedom, but chaos at best and tyranny at worst. Chapter 4. True freedom versus false freedom. One of the great modern confusions is the misunderstanding of freedom itself. We have come to believe that freedom means the ability to do anything rather than the ability to do what is right. Chesterton noted that to have the right to do a thing is not at all the same as to be right in doing it. Freedom without truth is slavery. If a man is free to follow only his impulses and desires, he becomes a slave to them. True freedom is not found in unbridled license, but in the ability to govern oneself according to moral truth. True freedom is rooted in purpose. A train is only free when it runs on its tracks, not when it jumps them. Likewise, man is only free when he follows the moral law that leads to human flourishing. The paradox of freedom. True freedom requires limits. A painter is not free to create art without the discipline of his craft, nor is a man truly free if he rejects the moral law that sustains society. Freedom is not the absence of rules, but the presence of virtue. Chapter 5. The Conclusion. Rediscovering Truth in a World Gone Mad. Chesterton's flair for humour and paradox serves a hopeful purpose: to shake us awake from the nightmare of absolute relativism. Objective truth is not an enemy of freedom. It is the very thing that makes freedom meaningful, by guiding it toward goodness. If we hold fast to the truth humbly and boldly, we can reclaim clarity in our culture's confusion. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video and share our passion for defending the true faith with a touch of humour, be sure to head over to chestertonsjest.com and check out our collection of bold, pro-Catholic graphic tees designed to spark conversation and inspire conviction. Whether you're looking to wear your faith proudly or share a laugh, we've got something for everyone. Visit us today and join the movement, because in times like these, it's more important than ever to stand firm in our beliefs with style and wit. As Chesterton once said, "A madman is not someone who has lost his reason. A madman is someone who has lost everything except his reason." So, let's keep our reason and our faith intact together. Thanks for listening. God bless you, and may the good Lord be praised.